Find your quiet place. Let the noise of your day fade into a distant hum. You are about to step out of your time and into another. A story is waiting in the darkness. A life you have not yet lived. A choice you have not yet made. Take a slow, deep breath and let go. The story is now ready for you. Hey there, sleepyhead. Welcome. Tonight, you're stepping into a life that doesn't appear in polite society. Lie back, breathe deep, and let the candlelight of old Paris flicker across your mind. The streets are slick with rain, the cobblestones glinting in the lamplight. This isn't a story of velvet and silk in the salons of the upper crust. No, it's a life of grit, shadow, and delicate illusions. The life of a woman whose name is whispered and never recorded in history books. Before we begin, do me a favor. Like, comments, subscribe, and tell us where you're listening from. Tell us if you think you would survive this life and where you'd like to drift next. Now close your eyes for a moment and step into the streets of Paris. The smell of damp stone and wood smoke mixes with perfume and coal dust. Every breath you take is heavy with possibility and danger. Let's begin. You are born in the smallest hours of a bitter winter. Your mother's cries mixing with the wind rattling the shutters. The midwife mutters prayers, her lantern casting shadows across your mother's pale face. Your first breath is a gasp against the cold, the warmth of blankets in the room faint and fleeting. Your father is nowhere in sight, drunk or indifferent, leaving the scent of tobacco and vinegar hanging in the air. Childhood is hard. Your family calls you little, thin, too sharp-eyed, too quick with questions that no one answers. Hunger is your constant companion, and bruises from your father's hands sting as much as the whip of his words. You learn to move quietly, to make yourself invisible, but your curiosity is relentless. You watch the world beyond the alleyways, the bustle of bakeries, the laughter spilling from cafes, the glimpse of rich dresses and perfumed collars on women who float past like ghosts. One morning you slip into the bakery on a whim, drawn by the smell of fresh bread. That's when you meet her, the madam. She is like a moth circling a flame. Eyes sharp, posture regal, yet a smile that could catch you in its trap. She speaks gently at first, offers you warmth, bread, and a glimpse of something you cannot yet name. A life not defined by hunger, by fear, by bruises. You do not yet understand what she does, what she offers, but the idea of safety, indulgence, and clothes that don't hang loose on your bones draws you in like a tide. The streets fade behind you as she brings you into her world. The rooms are shadowed, perfumed with lavender and rosewater, candles flickering across walls, lined with mirrors that make the space shimmer. You are given long dresses, shoes that pinch, gloves that rub your hands raw. You are learning the language of the salon, the eyes that measure, the lips that lie, the subtleties of a smile that can command or surrender. It is intoxicating, terrifying, and you are too young to know how much you will give for it. Adolescence carries you forward, each day a lesson in observation and survival. You learn the whispers of the other girls, the quiet rivalries masked by laughter and perfume. Elaine is one such girl, a sharp smile, eyes that never miss a detail. She envies you as much as she envies the madam's attention. Nights blur into candlelight and music. The clink of glasses, hushed conversations about patrons, coins, and power. You learn that your body is a canvas, your words are a script, and your mind is the only thing that is truly your own. One evening, you are tasked with entertaining a baron known for his melancholy and a young industrialist known for his arrogance, both at the same table. The air is thick with unspoken rivalry. You do not choose a side. Instead, you become a perfect mirror, reflecting the baron's poetic sadness back to him with a sympathetic sigh and a quote from a book you know he loves, while simultaneously stoking the industrialist's ego with a well-timed, impressed glance at his signet ring and a feigned ignorance of financial matters that allows him to feel powerful. It is a masterful performance. You weave between their competing needs, a ghost of a girl satisfying the egos of powerful men. They both leave feeling seen, heard, and utterly charmed, each believing he was the sole object of your attention. They are generous. The madam is pleased. It is a victory, but it leaves you feeling hollow. A collection of pleasing reflections with no substance of your own. Later that night, the madam finds you alone, looking out a window at the rain-slicked street. She is without her usual armor of jewels and silks, looking smaller, older. "You have the gift," she says, her voice quiet, without its usual sharp edge. "You see what they need before they know it themselves. But do not forget, my dear, the mirror can be shattered." She pauses, her gaze distant. "I was like you once. I thought I could control the reflections, but in the end, the illusion is all they want. Never give them the real you. It is the only thing they cannot buy, and the only thing they truly wish to destroy. At 18, your body betrays you in the first true trial. Pregnancy. You feel its weight, the stretching, the constant ache in your back and ribs. The madam provides a room, dimly lit by a single candle, perfumed with the musk of incense and opulent oils. You fear the changes, the vulnerability, the judgment. You clutch your stomach at night, whispering to the child who may never be, the terror of your body breaking, of failing, of surviving. The miscarriage is cruel and solitary. No warm hands, no comforting voice, only your own breath and the shadowed corners of the candlelit room. You curl against the mattress, the linens damp, the scent of iron heavy in your nose. Tears streak your face, mingling with sweat. The world feels hollow, and your body is a traitor. You are left to bury the small hope of life under the folds of your long dress, the silence of the room echoing your despair. In the weeks that follow, you move like a ghost through the salon, the other girls unsure how to treat you. The madam's eyes are kind but measured. Business never sleeps. You hide your grief, your body's trembling, your hunger for solace. The lessons of Paris are harsh. The world takes, and you learn to give what is demanded and take what little you can. It is in this period of quiet grief that you find an unlikely solace. A new girl arrives, named Anouk. She is not sharp like Elaine, nor particularly beautiful. She is quiet, kind, with wide, gentle eyes that seem to see the sorrow you keep so carefully hidden. She does not ask what happened. She simply leaves a warm cup of herbal tea by your door in the mornings, or shares her small ration of sweet bread without a word. For a few precious months you have a friend. You share quiet moments in the laundry rooms, your hands red from the harsh soap, whispering stories from your childhoods. You learn of her family's farm in the countryside, of the brother she misses, of her simple dream to one day have a small garden of her own. Her kindness is a small, warm candle in the vast, cold darkness of the salon. It allows you, for a moment, to feel like a person again, not just a performer. But this world does not allow for such softness. Elaine, seeing your bond, sees it as a threat, a competing alliance. She manufactures a lie, a story of stolen lace, whispered to the madam at the perfect moment. Anouk, with no powerful patron to protect her and no cunning of her own, is cast out onto the street with nothing. You watch from an upstairs window as she walks away into the rain, her shoulders slumped in defeat. You never see her again. The lesson is brutal and final. Genuine connection is a liability here. It is a weakness your rivals will exploit without mercy. You lock that final piece of your heart away, and the ghost you had become feels a little more permanent. Rivalries sharpen with time. Elaine's ambitions clash with yours, and small betrayals become dangerous weapons. Every glance in the mirror is a reminder that one misstep can undo everything you have built. The Duke's jealousy enters your life like a shadow, eyes always lingering, hands sometimes lingering too close, subtle threats hiding behind compliments. You learn to read intention, to anticipate malice. Nights in your boudoir become strategic. Rich fabrics drape your body to mask exhaustion. Perfumes are layered to hide the faint scent of illness that creeps in like a slow fog. You watch your own reflection, noting every line, every bruise, every fatigue in your eyes. Survival is performance, and every smile, every sigh, every delicate gesture is a calculated act. The first whispers of illness appear subtly, fatigue, chills, a cough that lingers past its welcome. You push through, masking weakness, with laughter and a carefully timed flush to your cheek. Doctors are distant, expensive, and often cruel in their indifference. You learn to move gently, avoid cold drafts, and ration water and broth to keep your strength where it can be seen, not felt. Then the tragedy of birth returns, this time with a child, a daughter born into the arms of a wealthy patron. The contrast is sharp. Lavish room, eager doctors, silken linens, perfumed attendants. You clutch her small body for a moment, every nerve trembling, every breath a reminder of the loss you endured before. You understand that love and business are entangled, that sacrifice is the currency of survival. Time passes. Elaine's scheming falters, her influence wanes, and you observe her fall with a cautious satisfaction. Every victory in this world comes at a cost, and you measure each step, each word, each glance. The Duke's envy simmers. His attempts to control or harm you become more brazen. One evening you survive a calculated assault, your body bruised, your mind sharpened. Fear teaches vigilance. Pain teaches endurance. You are at the peak of your influence now, a precarious throne built on beauty and wit. The Duke's attention, once a shadow, becomes a suffocating obsession. He does not bring you flowers. He brings you a gift of a songbird in an exquisite gilded cage. The bird is beautiful, its song pure, but you understand the message immediately. You are his prize, his beautiful possession, something to be admired but contained. The cage sits in your boudoir, a constant, glittering reminder of your own imprisonment. Your salon becomes the most sought after in Paris. Politicians whisper secrets in your presence, assuming your beauty makes you deaf. Artists sketch your likeness, trying to capture the melancholy in your eyes. You orchestrate these evenings, like a master puppeteer, guiding conversations, forging alliances, and gathering information, the only true currency you possess. You learn to trade a whispered secret for a month of protection, a carefully placed rumor for a rival's downfall. You are no longer just surviving. You are playing the game at its highest level, but the performance is draining. The Duke's jealousy is a constant threat. He dismisses your other patrons, his presence a dark cloud that chills the room. The other girls, led by a resentful Elaine, see his obsession not as a danger to you, but as an unfair advantage. The isolation grows. You have wealth, you have influence, but you are utterly alone, a queen in a gilded cage, with only the sad song of a captive bird for company. And in this golden prison you perform a secret act of rebellion, a final flicker of the girl you once were. You use a portion of the Duke's lavish gifts to send an anonymous pouch of gold to the struggling bakery where you first met the madame. You ensure the old baker and his wife can retire without fear. It is a small act of kindness in a world of cruelty, a secret you guard more fiercely than any political rumor. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of lives, a person can still choose to create a tiny point of light. The secret act of charity, however, does little to soothe the profound emptiness that now occupies your night. You are surrounded by opulence, silks from the east, jewels that glitter like captured stars, furniture carved from the rarest woods. You trace the patterns on a priceless tapestry, and all you see are the faces of the lost. Anouk's wide, gentle eyes, the imagined face of the child you never held. The gilded cage, with its sad little bird, feels less like a metaphor and more like your literal reality. You have achieved the safety and indulgence you once craved, but you have traded your soul for it. This cold realization fuels not despair, but a quiet, chilling resolve. The Duke is not just an obstacle. He is the architect of your prison, and you know, with the certainty of a survivor, that one of you must fall. You do not confront him. You do not raise your voice. You simply use the greatest weapon you have, a secret whispered to you by a rival politician in a moment of drunken confidence. A secret you have held like a poisoned dart. You write an anonymous letter, your calligraphy elegant and untraceable. The letter contains details of a treasonous plot, implicating the Duke with evidence that is both undeniable and impossible to trace back to you. You send it not to the authorities, but to his most powerful enemy. And then you wait. Weeks later, the news ripples through the salons. The Duke has been disgraced, his titles stripped, his presence in Paris erased as if he never existed. No one ever suspects you. You feel no triumph, only the cold, grim satisfaction of a predator who has eliminated a threat. You have secured your throne, but the throne is empty, and the silence in your boudoir is deeper than ever before. Illness returns, more insistent this time. Fever, Weakness, nights spent in trembling fits of chills. You push through mornings with makeup and gloved hands, hiding the pallor and trembling from patrons and rivals alike. Your body feels like a fragile vase, beautiful, but at constant risk of shattering. Doctors nod, prescribe tonics, shake their heads, always judgment and always expense. You learn to ration energy, to cloak fragility with glamour. Social maneuverings grow more complex. Patrons watch, whisper, and judge, but your wealth and cunning shield you. Opium and perfumes create illusions. Smoke mirrors to hide weakness. The rivalries soften into distant echoes as your focus turns inward. Survival, reinvention, the delicate art of control over your image, over your space, over the lives that intersect with yours. Every reflection in the mirror is a study of resilience. You track the arc of your body, the color of your skin, the depth of your eyes. You remember the girl who curled against a damp mattress, the young woman who lost her first child, the courtesan navigating knives disguised as smiles. Each memory sharpens your present, fortifies your decisions, and steels your heart against betrayal and disease. Illness becomes a shadow you cannot ignore. Your body weakens, your cough deepens, and the weight of Paris seems heavier than ever. Days stretch long with the effort of standing, walking, smiling, laughing on cue. Patrons tiptoe around your fragility, unsure whether to admire or exploit it. Doctors treat you with perfunctory concern, their words cold, their tonics bitter, their remedies often more theater than cure. Recovery is slow, each day a negotiation with your body. You wear glimmers of your old elegance, silk gloves, carefully pinned hair, layers of perfume to mask weakness. Smoke and opium clouds the cafe you manage, illusions of strength and vitality masking the truth beneath. You work tirelessly to maintain appearances, to command respect, to continue the delicate dance of influence and survival. The cafe is your reinvention, your empire built of smoke and whispers. It is a different kind of salon, run entirely on your terms. You are no longer the performer. You are the proprietor, the madame. The clientele is a mix of the city's underbelly and its artistic soul. Poets who trade verses for wine, revolutionaries who sketch plans on napkins, and fallen aristocrats who come to dream in the opium haze. You cultivate this atmosphere of beautiful decay, a place where secrets are safe and status from the outside world means nothing. Here, you are a queen. You move between the small, velvet-draped tables, your steps slow and deliberate, your presence commanding a quiet respect. You do not offer your body. You offer your ear, your discretion, your keen insight. You know who is in debt, who is in love, who is planning to flee the city. This knowledge is your new form of power, more potent and enduring than the beauty that is now beginning to fade. One rainy evening, a figure from your past appears at the door. It is Elaine, your old rival. She is no longer sharp and glittering. Her dress is worn, her face is etched with hardship, and her eyes have lost their fire. She does not ask for money. She asks for work. In this moment, you see the full circle of your life. You see the girl she was and the woman she has become. You could turn her away, an easy, final victory. But you do not. You look at her, and you see another survivor. You nod once, understanding, and direct her to the kitchens. It is not forgiveness. It is not even kindness. It is a pragmatic acknowledgement of a shared, brutal history. In your own kingdom, you can afford a different kind of power, the power of quiet, calculated mercy. Your cafe becomes a fixture of the city's artistic heart. Among your regulars is a young poet, barely a man, with ink stains on his fingers and a fire in his eyes that you recognize with a distant ache. He has no money, but he trades in the only currency he possesses: words. He writes verses on napkins in exchange for a bowl of soup and a warm corner to sit in. His poems are full of desperate hope, of love for a city that is slowly killing him, of a belief in beauty that you lost long ago. You watch him with a detached, almost scientific curiosity. You see in him a reflection of the girl you once were, the one who believed in the kindness of strangers, the one who was drawn to the warmth of a bakery. You offer him quiet patronage, ensuring his cup is never empty, that he always has a candle to write by. It is not charity. It is an experiment. You are watching to see if his flame will be extinguished as yours was, or if, by some miracle, it can survive the cold Parisian air. He is a ghost of your own lost innocence, and you are the ghost of a future he is trying desperately to avoid. At night, when the house is quiet, you allow your thoughts to wander. The child you lost, the rival you survived, the duke who almost ended you. You savor these memories not as regrets, but as markers of survival, of ingenuity, of a life carved in shadows and resilience. Each breath, each cough, each quiet moment is a testament to the art of endurance. Your daughter, now grown, crosses your path at a New York social event. The encounter is brief, a shared glance, whispered words, a heartbeat of recognition. You do not intrude upon her life. You let her live, unshadowed by your mistakes, your sacrifices, your ambition. The grief is tender, sharp, and fleeting, settling in your chest like a cold stone. Years pass, seasons turn. The fire of your ambition cools to a soft, warm ember. You live quietly now, your wealth, a silent guardian that keeps the harshness of the world at bay. One late afternoon in the heart of a bitter winter, you find yourself walking through the Jardin du Luxembourg. A fresh layer of snow blankets the ground, muffling the sounds of the city into a peaceful hush. The sky is a soft, bruised purple, and the air is sharp and clean. You are wrapped in a simple but fine wool coat, an anonymous, elegant figure, moving slowly among the frozen statues and skeletal trees. You pause by a frosted iron bench, not to sit, but to watch the snow begin to fall again. The flakes drift down, lazy and serene, each one a unique and fragile crystal. You watch a child, bundled in a red scarf, try to catch a snowflake on their tongue. A moment of pure, uncomplicated joy. There is no envy in your heart, no regret, only a distant, quiet observation. You are a ghost in this world of simple pleasures, a witness to a life you never lived, and you find a strange, melancholy peace in your detachment. As the gas lamps begin to flicker on, casting a golden glow on the falling snow, you stop before a dark shop window. You do not see the display of books or antiques inside. You only see your own reflection in the glass, a pale, tired face with eyes that hold the weight of 100 lives. For a fleeting, surreal moment, the reflection shifts. You see the sharp-eyed, hungry girl from the alleyways staring back at you, then the poised, dazzling courtesan in her prime, then the weary but resilient queen of the cafe. All the women you have been, layered like ghosts in the glass, all looking out at you with a shared, silent understanding. You give a slow, almost imperceptible nod to them, an acknowledgement of the army you have carried within you. Then you pull your coat tighter and walk on, your solitary figure slowly disappearing into the swirling snow. The cafe in Paris continues in memory, a glittering stage of power and glamour. You recall every detail: the perfumed curtains, the opium haze, the subtle gestures that commanded respect, the laughter, the whispered betrayals, each patron, each coin, each act of manipulation, a layer in the story you built from scraps, from shadows, from fragile moments of survival. Illness remains your companion, though managed now by experience and careful subterfuge. You move slower, measure your energy, lean on rituals of beauty and poise to preserve authority and mystery. Your wealth affords safety, yet you cannot buy back lost youth, lost children, lost moments of innocence. You live between memories and masks, between resilience and fragility, between desire and survival. As your final years unfold, you walk quietly through the world, a figure of dignity and shadow, remembered by few but respected by many. Every choice, every step, every breath has been calculated, shaped by the delicate balance of power, survival, and desire. You are the architect of your own story, and in the end, that is enough. The candle flickers for the last time. The rain continues outside, indifferent, and the crackling of the fire slowly dies. You are gone, but the streets remember the shadows you moved through, the perfume that lingered in parlors and boudoir, the whispers of your charm and resilience. Your daughter carries a trace of you, unseen yet present. The cafes echo your laughter, your cunning, your survival. Lie back, breathe deep, and let the world you've walked through fade into the night. Tonight, you've lived a life hidden in plain sight, and it has been beautiful, terrible, unflinching, and yours. Before the final candle flickers out, and her story becomes just a whisper in the Parisian rain. If this life lived in shadow touched you, help its memory linger by liking this story. To hear more whispers of time, step into another life. Subscribe. In the quiet space below, tell us, could you have survived this world of delicate illusions? And where should our whispers drift to next? Now, step back from the candlelight, breathe, and let the world carry your shadow forward just as she carried hers.